Hello everyone. So I just thought to do something like a one-off kind of video, and because as you may have seen, I've been releasing a lot of commentary content, which I wanted to release first before going back into animations again. And I thought, I tell you what, before stopping this era of commentating, I think this is definitely a a band worth talking about in its own video. Because I have talked about Erasure before in a couple of other videos, especially about songs. But I just thought let's give them a bit more justice by dedicating a whole video to them. Because the reason for this video is because unlike other what would you say? Feel like this band has been greatly unspoken about because every other artist I listen to, I always think, at least I hear enough of their discography on the radio, and because when you hear because every band, every artist, you could say, always has that one definitive song. Even for instance, my favorite band is ABBA, and despite Dancing Queen being being like the most popular and almost like the definitive ABBA song, there's at least a whole heap of other hits that are played. With Erasure, however, other than A Little Respect and Sometimes, and I've heard Stop once, but I just remember thinking there's a whole heap of like other songs they've done which are not played at all, like outside of me and my family's control. When you only hear the songs from them. Yeah, when I did those videos on underrated songs that I shared, all of these songs are just only been played by my own accord. I never encounter the songs on the radio, on the TV, nothing. That was like a last chance to promote those songs. But now I want to I can't say the word, but I want to really um, talk about why I think this the band is really good, more than good, in fact. And so I think firstly, let's start off some starting basics. So the band consists of the duo with lead singer Andy Bell and keyboard player slash guitar player slash all the instruments, Vince Clarke. And Vince Clarke was actually in Depeche Mode, and he was there more so in the very beginning because him, Andy Fletcher, and I think Martin Gore as well, they started their own little band called No Romance in China. But then when they, started to, work with music more, and with Dave Gahn, being hired with as the lead singer of something along those lines, that's where they had their breakthrough in 1981 with their first album. But because Vince Clarke, and admittedly in an interview, stated how he wasn't so keen on the direction, so he left shortly after Depeche Mode's first album. And because a lot of people say that Depeche Mode's first album, which is called Speak and Spell, is somewhat different compared to the rest of the material. And I every album is like very different, but what I will say is that the first two are definitely very keyboard focused, because the band used to just have Dave at the front and the rest were on keyboards and the drums were on tape. And I guess just a quick run through, the third and fourth album were very varied in percussion, and then um, 87, with Music for the Masses, is where they got more experimental and a bit more darker with the music. Oh, 1986 as well, yeah, of course, yeah, I can't forget Black Celebration, that one's a really good one. And then over time they applied more guitar, and then went on to more alternative pop. They even went for more grungy angle in the mid to late 90s, and then they went um, a bit more back to the alternative pop again, with a couple of like new flavors. But nowadays, from the last couple of albums, they've been like proper like dubstepy electronic kind of approach. The point is that Depeche Mode is definitely varied each time. Although I think with the very first album, it's extremely how would you say? I guess like electronic in its own way, and there's a load of like dingles like the keyboards make. There's quite a variety of them when you like listen throughout the songs. And yeah, it just strangely stands out. I think to me, it just sounds low budget, but in a really good way, because sometimes you can hear like low budget or early versions of songs, and I still really like the craft in it if it's done really well. So yeah, it just has that kind of vibe, and um, so yeah. Oh, but not to mention, yeah, Vince was the original songwriter, so as well as the, I guess maybe some parts of the music, but he was writing lyrics as well, and yeah, lyric styles definitely varied over time. Oh, I don't know. It's just I feel like the first two are kind of similar, but the first one definitely has its own distinction, because the second one is yeah, which is called A Broken Frame, that has what would you say? I almost want to say like more fancy elements, like its own kind of era, something like that. Yeah, but yeah, regardless, yeah, let's hop back to Vince Clarke. So he then went on to yeah, Zoo in 1982, where he partnered with Alison Moyet, and yeah, they did a whole couple of decent hits, especially Only You, which is even a football album, anthem, sorry. um, and then he was briefly with another band called The Assembly, and then that's where about 1985, even before that time, he then encountered Andy Bell, formed the duo Erasure, and that's where they've been ever since. The only other thing I've heard about is that Andy has done a couple of like solo albums, like um, um, during that massive Erasure era, which is 1985 until now. Yeah, Andy Bell's done a couple of like solo albums. I think Clark Raver has probably done a couple of things on his own, but he even worked with Martin Gore once. They're one of their Depeche Mode members on a instrumental album that's called, as in the snake sound. You'll get what I mean if you look it up. I need to look into that and see how that goes, because I reckon it's quite good. So yeah, I don't know an awful lot about Andy's history, unlike Vince Clarke's origins, you could say. But yeah, so yeah, just to clarify, I'll be going from like I will talk about like parts of their first album, but then I'll be talking about some of the following albums I'm familiar of, because they have done quite a lot, almost yearly or every like couple of years. But like I said, I'll only go for highlight albums and songs, and because I don't know what the in terms of the Eurasia fan base, I'm wondering if some have like other different opinions for what they think is the best or the not as good as of the whole Erasure discography. But regardless, like I said, just going to talk about how they kind of started off, and then go for the highlights. And so this is where, yeah, so the first album called Wonderland, and it has the first single calls which is called Who Needs Love Like That, which is very yeah, because yeah, the first album being called Wonderland, I guess it does have like a um oh, it's like a, oh, how would you describe it, like atmospheric in a very upbeat kind of way, somewhat. Even Who Needs Love Like That, it has like a couple of melodies, and Andy, goes for like the higher vocals every now and again. And yeah, a lot of these songs, even looking at it right now, it even has the single "Oh L'amour," which is almost like a definitive Erasure track, and I think that's the kind of song that definitely creates a good starting point for them. But I believe that the true Erasure, like finding the identity kind of stage, really starts off with the following album, because that's where they really show that they can create songs with a bit more weight to them. Because whilst there are like a lot of highlights across Wonderland, but not only am I not as familiar, but it's yeah, I think it is just one of the stages where they're just like finding their footing, and there's some ideas to do have a go with, but like I said, it's just the circus and onwards where they really find their identity and really create some proper good tunes. Um, so yeah, even Wonderland, similar to Speak and Spell, Depeche Mode's first album, where it's like it's like a decent like starting point, and yeah, it's like electronic music that it does have like its own kind of flavor, and I think that's mainly thanks to um, I think they because for instance, Who Needs Love Like That, does have like its own quirkiness to it. Not to mention Andy's vocals, I would say are quite distinct, because very quickly, Andy's vocals, yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. Yeah, he's able to use high and low vocals like effortlessly, because when you like listen to a lot of his singing throughout these songs, it is like absolutely fantastic. And despite um, yeah, I can say he can experiment with his vocals quite a lot. We will definitely expand on them, but yeah, his voice really stands out, and I think that's where once again the second album, The Circus. I know there's a Take That album also called The Circus, but regardless, it's yeah, yeah, it's just Erasures. But yeah, not only that, yeah, even both Erasure and Take That also have a song called The Circus, which is part of the album. But yeah, both are very different albums with very different songs. But what I will say is that The Circus by Take That is possibly my favourite Take That album. That or Beautiful World, I really like them. Even Progress is rather good. I like the moments of that one. Alright, so yeah, let's hop onto The Circus. And yeah, this is where it has the song Sometimes, which might reach number 2 in the UK. I don't know about the others, but I think it did rather well elsewhere. Yeah, it was quite a decent hit in 1986, and yeah, because if forming like my own Rage playlist in order, this one would be first. It's like really good because it does really like capture like the essence, like such as Andy's vocals. Like it, well, Andy's vocals are a bit more on the simplest side. He does experiment with them more later on, but in here, there's some like really nice harmonies, especially with the harmonies he uses to start the song off. It has like a lot of like a happiness to it, because yeah, sometimes it's a very cheerful track. I think there might be like some sad lyrics beneath, um, but regardless, yeah, it's just like a very cheery song, and yeah, it's like a very easy one to sing with as well. Yeah, it's like very joyful, and yeah, because with this track as well, because a lot of these Erasure albums, like the later ones, do mainly go electronic and keyboard focused, a bit like Depeche Mode's approach. But during parts of the early era, they do have a go with other instruments, such as guitar. Like sometimes has that great guitar strumming that like really like shines through like in between the verses. Yeah, there's not many verses of songs I've heard about where lines are the intercuts between the verse and then like an instrumental moment in the back in between. But to have like the riff guitar as well is like really good, and yeah, because you can see the type of guitar Vince uses, and yeah, it just has that really good strum with a lot of weight in it, and it can really feel the strings ring. It's just extremely good. And yeah, the keyboard man is very memorable. And oh yeah, by the way, I don't know about Vince Clarke, but Andy is a massive ABBA fan, and I think yeah, you talked about how ABBA was an inspiration, and yeah, because I think part of the inspiration from ABBA is that when you think of ABBA songs, you think of stronger vocals and trying to apply memorable moments in songs whilst applying enough weight to them. And yeah, songs like Sometimes really emphasize that, because there's a lot of memorable moments like the in the build up, or even the instrumental main melody is um, which is yeah, very catchy. And so yeah, and yeah, very quickly as well, because in the late 80s, early 90s, even Erasure did some of their ABBA covers as well, which yeah, really added to the inspiration. And very quickly, I think some of the covers are kind of quite good. I think Take a Chance on Me was one of the more popular ones, but I really like the version of SOS. It has like more of a electronic touch to the song, but of course the original is still the best one. um, but yeah, let's talk more about The Circus. Yeah, this one has a really good set of songs throughout. Because yeah, because I really like albums that find like from, because sometimes when their song is they make their song and then they make other music based on the original song, being like, yes, we'll use this as the foundation and we'll expand on it. I watched them sometimes because the Circus album by Erasure, it how to say, because um yeah, it like yeah sometimes does somewhat fit a lot of these songs, but a lot of these other songs as well have more of a I guess more like a circus theme in some way, very jazzy and jammy, and very quick in its beat. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. And yeah, a lot of the similar uh, keyboard melodies. Yeah, there's a lot of variations, and yeah, quite a bit of guitar strumming every now and again. And they do experiment with other instruments as well. Like one of my favorite ones in the album is um, oh, it doesn't have to be. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, very good one. Yeah, because during the bridge of the song, they have a go with these jungle percussions, and even the circus song, it runs on a accordion, which yeah, so they do try and have a go over the instruments, and despite using other instruments, it does still share that unified identity. I like how similar they sound, because even other songs like "Victim of Love" really fit in there as well. I really like that one as well, because that one like really builds up with the weight. Because like the start of it is I don't something like that. I haven't listened to the song in a while. I need to listen to it again, but it's like the thudding song. Even that has like guitar strumming like later on, which is a bit of reference to sometimes. So yeah, it's just yeah, once again, like it is enough variation, but still playing with an established sound, and seeing how they explore it. But even at the end of the Circus album, it has a song called Spiraling, yeah, Spiraling, and yeah, it's probably one of the saddest songs I've ever heard, because it's only made up of Andy's vocals and just a very soft synthesizer sound. With these like chords going dun, dun, something like that, and it even ends with like a circus melody, which I think yeah, it's very similar to what not only the circus song, but it does sound like a very slow circus jingle, as if the happiness is probably like still going on in the background, whilst you're having like a moment to yourself. Has that kind of vibe, which is extremely interesting, because I'm more of a fan of songs that have a lot of instruments going for, but if they're like a single instrument is can carry enough, if they go for like the right melodies and notes, then yeah, it can really show how a limited approach can really create effective emotions. I even listened to a James Blunt song today, where it's just him and a piano. What was the name of it? I'll quickly have a look. Um, no, recently played. No, recently played. There it is. Um, Where's it gone? Oh, Standing All Alone. Yeah, that one was really effective with just one piano. Um, so yeah, if you like sad songs, yes, Spiraling is definitely like a very good one. And oh yeah, very interestingly, in it doesn't have to be with the third version. I'm mentioning those jungle sounding instruments, that he uses foreign lyrics. I don't know what language it uses, but it's quite interesting that he doesn't do an awful lot of other songs, not as far as I know. But I just really like how that stands out, and yeah, and his vocals as well. He's more of a high pitch vocalist at this point. Like like I think the lower vocals he utilizes a bit more later on as well. But yeah, I really like his high vocals, because sometimes when artists try and use like a consistent high pitched kind of vocal, or they try and have a go with high vocals, sometimes it like crosses the line, but when you're like I'm not sure. But with Andy, he knows how to use high vocals well, and once again I will get to a high vocal highlight much later on in the mid 90s. But uh, yeah, it's just yeah, it doesn't go far with them, and it really suits a lot of the sounds, and yeah, it's just it transitions to these high vocals like rather smoothly pretty much every time. So once again, it's just extremely experienced in that field. So yeah, that's my mini critique of the circus. So yeah, this is where the Erasure truly start. and yeah, funnily enough, we're already on what is not only one of my favorite albums ever, but possibly the best Erasure album, and that is The Innocents, which has their best or most famous hit, which is A Little Respect. And whilst there are like many other songs I would rank above A Little Respect, but it is still a very iconic song, and rightfully so. Um, yeah, because with The Innocents, so I feel like it kind of carries over parts of the circus. Well, definitely. So the idea is where they're going to go for, the uplifting nature, from songs like Sometimes, and trying to go for all sorts of variety of light, upbeat keyboard melodies, and yeah, and a lot of the theming as well. Um, yeah, The Innocents, however, yeah, it's I don't think there's. Oh, I tell you what, there is one somber tune once again, but a lot of it are very it is very upbeat. Oh no, I'll correct that. Yeah, there's two like more sadder songs which I'll get to. Um, so yeah, what one thing I will say about The Innocents is that 65,000, it's a instrumental that's pretty much halfway through the album, but that song doesn't sound like anything else on the album, and I admit I'm not too keen on that one. It's a weird instrumental where you wouldn't, because if you were told, hey, this artist needs to be this instrumental, and after playing it you're like, oh well, who did this? And then you'll be surprised done by this band on this album, and you're like, oh okay, it's a very underwhelming instrumental. There's like a couple of synth parts, but it's very, oh I don't know, it was just like repetitive percussion, and yeah, to this day I can't really pin down um yeah, it's that one is like a bit of a like massive dip in quality compared to the rest of the songs, because the rest of the songs are absolutely top notch. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Well, I say 80s tunes, but they actually feel rather timeless. How A Little Respect actually holds up quite well. So do the rest of the songs in this album. Yeah, and all of them have such a distinct flavour. Because yeah, I think if I think, yeah, once again the Innocence has more of a fantasy feel to these songs, but I feel like it's a grander kind of fantasy feel with with these songs, because yeah, a lot of electronic 80s bands, they have yeah, a lot of them were very stereotypical with their keyboard sounds, be like, oh yeah, let's go all electronic. But Erasure makes sure there's like more of a theming and a consistent feel of an album when using these electronic sounds, and that once again makes them like really stand out. So yeah, let's try and yeah, I'll go through each song quickly in The Innocence. Yeah, so yeah, even if the Little Respect doesn't, I don't know. Yeah, I think it kind of well, it has like a really nice uplifting feel. Yeah, yeah, a lot of you would have known that quite well. Yeah, it has yeah, like a couple of very memorable piano melodies and a nice guitar strumming in the background, and and yeah, and I can see how this one is like almost like a definitive Erasure tune. Yeah, I think it's like a really good starting point, because it just shows some instrument variety, and yeah, even Andy's vocals as well, because this is where he uses a couple of low vocals as well, but to use like high and low vocals very fluently and as they go in and out in such an effortlessly manner. Yeah, it's an extremely good feat. So yeah, it's just, yeah, like a very good starting tune. And then yeah, next up is Ship of Fools. That one, third sad song. I say sad, but this one just has like a bit more of a, only like a slightly sad tale. Yeah, so this one like tells a story almost, and I really like this synth approach here, because it even matches with the music video quite well, where it has like almost um like a water kind of theme to it. It's like you can almost like imagine listening to the song whilst on a beach of stones, just like wondering to yourself. It has that kind of feel in some way, but it has still has like a couple of a lot of uplifting melodies. Once again, it's just even the guitar has like a couple of moments as well. This one's a bit more twingly instead of strumming, so yeah, it's having to go with that, which paid off really well. And so yeah, next up is Phantom Bride. This one is really like grandiose in its approach. Yeah, this one is like a super build up. It's kind of bassy as well because oh yeah, even the melody is like so distinct. And once you hit Phantom Bride, which is pretty much the first non-single track in this album, yeah, this melody is great because yeah, even the intro introduces that melody by go dun 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 dun, something like that, yeah. And yeah, and this is like a really cool moment where at the build up of the chorus, the keyboards just go dun 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 dun, and with the blight and the way the lyrics are sewn alongside. A secret place to seek away, something like that. It's extremely good. Yeah, it's like a pop song that really thuds, and I really like songs like that. Chains of Love is another single. Yeah, this one. Oh yeah, even this one. The keyboard sound occasionally sounds like a guitar strum. Yeah, yeah, that one's like interesting as well. So once again, it's like expanding on that sound, and yeah, I like music video as well. So yeah, it's very nice. Next one is Hollow Ground. So this is more of a darker tune, and yeah, it's like told from multiple perspectives or like a observer. And yeah, this one has like a very it like takes its time a bit more, and yeah, has and it uses keyboards very purposely because yeah, there's like a bass that goes like that, and then yeah, it's like a small jingle every now and again, but it's mostly these lower keyboard notes that goes dun dun. So it feels like an expansion of spiraling almost, except Hello Ground does have more layers of keyboards and is slightly quicker, but yeah, I do really like how Erasure seem to be very good at um, um having a yeah, having to go with a darker type of tune. So yeah, and I think it was done rather well. And then yeah, and then they have some of the more like songs that are very, very light on its feet and almost sounds like something else with a fancy film. Yeah, songs like Heartstone, Imagination, and Witch in the Ditch. Yeah, they're a bit more straightforward compared to the rest, but yeah, they do have their own nice distinct melodies, and um, it just has like a really a lot of very uh, nice endearing moments. Yeah, they're very endearing tunes. That's how I would describe them. And then the other, and then that's so three tracks left to discuss in this one. And yeah, there's Who, which is definitely like a feel good about yourself kind of song, and it does that kind of well. Yeah, because once again, there's like the really nice build up, and even these like the very start of the chorus, it has that whoosh, to it sounds like a massive sea wave, as it starts singing, and there's even like additional backing vocals as well, because I think Erasure has the same two lady backing vocalists. I think they've been there from the get go, and yeah, I really like their input here, and they do rather well here. I really like that, and there's a couple of live performances I've seen of them, such as their live performance of the Siren song, which is a bit later, but yeah, they are rather good. Oh yeah, they would have been involved in Chains of Love as well. That one, yeah, yeah, definitely, great. And yeah, even the Weight of the World, it's kind of similar to Yahoo, where it's it's like a no worries kind of song. It has a cool, a lot of cool bass like moments. Yeah, because even the bass keyboards, because it's similar to Depeche Mode actually, where the bass parts have like a little melody of their own. Because for instance, with Who, it's dun 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 dun, and then with Weight in the World, it's dun 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 dun. So yeah, the bass almost acts like the melodies. So yeah, to use that in that way, it's really good. I like it when the bass has a bit more of a tune of its own, because my all-time favorite song, and what I consider probably be the best song ever, personal opinion, it's "Don't Shut Me Down" by ABBA, and I really like the bass in that song, because yeah, it's dun 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 dun, and yeah, it really like fits with the song very well. But yeah, so the last song, well, they did cover River Deep Mountain High, like more electronic version once again. But the second to last song is called When I Needed You, and yeah, another really, not only a very effective sad Erasure song, but there's like a very good sad song in general, because it's like one of those songs where has like theming of if I didn't lose this person who I once loved, or oh my gosh, I just remember those times of looking back, and yeah, it achieves those themes that are really well, because even the jingles in the keyboard, it really gives you that like a very nostalgic moment. It feels like your childhood's like still there, but isn't. It has like that ding into it. It's yeah, extremely captivating, and it does have like one of my favorite lower vocal Andy moments, because in the as the song is like closing the bell, um, he does sing the chorus lines. Where were you when I knew? Oh my gosh, what was it? Uh, oh no! I can't believe it. No, don't want to forget. No, it's great. Um, where were you when I needed you most? When I needed, when I needed a friend, and but instead it's where were you when I needed you most? When I needed a friend. I'm saying a bit quicker, but I just really like the deep vocals here, because sometimes some artists can glide so deep at point you're like, what are you saying? But then once again, he hits like a really good like balance, just like the high vocals. So yeah, The Innocents, yeah, definitely one of the best pop album of the 80s. Definitely latter half of the 80s, that's for sure. So yeah, if moving on to the next album, yep, you'll see them on screen, the ones I'll specifically be talking about. Sorry, hang on. Okay, I'm good. So yeah, I'm going to jump straight to Chorus in 1991. So this one is definitely electronic, and this feels electronic in a almost like in a galactic way almost. I think that's the best way to describe it, because it's it feels like instead of actually I think the best way to describe it is that a lot of the sounds that are made feel more like they come from a system or a computer as opposed to a keyboard. And yeah, there's a lot of really clever moments, especially the song chorus itself, where yeah, it's definitely a prime example. Once again, it's the first song in the album, so it does help set up what the rest of the album's going to be like. And yeah, you can see how they use um, um, sound effects in a way which is um, yeah, once again, just very purposeful, because yeah, a lot of because when it comes to electronic music, some people think like, oh, let's put this sound together and this sound together, and it all sounds so cool. And yeah, sometimes it just goes, I don't really find the rhythm. But with Erasure, however, they know to use a collective of sounds to create like a bassy melody throughout, or help using it in between, like as the chorus is still building up, or when the song even starts. So it's just using it selectively, which is it's pretty much like a good blueprint for how to do electronic songs very well. I'll tell you what, Cascada is like another good example of electronic music done well. Just actually creating like melodies. That fit. I just feel like if songs can be played well on piano or acoustically, because that's where music theory applies a bit more to electronic music at a point where it can play again, but on acoustic. I think that's like a good sign of a good pop song, because I've heard of a piano version of Mabel's TikTok, and even a acoustic version of Mabel's Selfish Love, and I just remember really liking them, because I really like the original songs, because I reckon they're some of the best pop songs in the last decade. But yeah, the acoustic versions, yeah, it just really shows how much detail there is with yeah, some just really good, nicely chosen melodies that can be yeah, carried over into acoustic. Anyway, sorry, let's shut up about the acoustics. So yeah, I'll state of highlights within um, yeah, Erasure's chorus album. So yeah, from onwards, yeah, I'll just be talking about the more specific tracks. I won't go through the entire album like The Innocents. But yeah, what else does the chorus have? Oh, home. Yeah, home's like a very good one. It's like very like it feels very almost like a song that's like lowered down, where you hear like a couple of melodies and you're like, so, it's like a more of a mundane start, but then when the chorus hits, um, and then it just hooks you with a sense of interest, being like, oh, okay, and then it does kind of get you quite emotional with the sound effects kicking in again, um, and um, yeah, um, it's like thought provoking in a melody kind of way, not a lyrical kind of way, but there it still applies. Yeah, it's like limited sounds, but doing it really effectively. And yeah, let's go for the Siren song. So this was one of the earliest songs I've ever heard. Yeah, the Siren song. Oh yeah, it's very eerie. Yeah, yeah. When you think of sirens, yeah, just um, it's almost like a sense of hypnotizing, and there's like a bit of tension, and you just like feel your chest pounding. Yeah, like this song, like really captures those essence like really well. And yeah, there's a whole heap of highlights. Yeah, because um, yeah, even this one's like an example of Andy's vocals. Yeah, they go in and out of high and low like extremely, like it's like a very short span time, but he like climbs in and out of the different pitches, and yeah, it's yeah, extremely well done. Because even after the chorus, which is tad uplifting, and then as the chorus ends, it goes dun 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 dun. Yeah, it just like calms down, and then it had a crescendos, once with like a couple of melodies. So yeah, it goes in and out of tension like really nicely. And then yeah, the last one to talk about is Breath of Life, which is this one's a bit more familiar and sounds more alike compared to like the previous Erasure songs. But yeah, this one has yeah, not once again not only bleeds more into the electronic kind of side of things, but even this one is yeah, it has like a summery, watery, beachy kind of sound to it, which I really like. Um, yeah, because even in the like the bridge of the song, there's this yeah part when it goes dun 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 dun, and it just sounds like a melody in a like an animated film, yeah, like it, Water Fiend one, and yeah, I just really like that one. Yeah, it's like probably my favorite part of the track, where yeah, it just really yeah makes that song stand out. All right, so let's hop on to the next album, and this one is called I Say, I Say, I Say, which is kind of tricky just to say, no pun intended. But yeah, regardless, yeah, this album, yeah, this one also does quite well. I think this was also the last album to reach the UK top 20, which is a shame because yeah, I think a lot of them should have reached the top 20. But regardless, so yeah, this one, yeah, back in 1994, and the main single is called Always, and yeah, it's yeah, an extremely endearing romantic tune. It's like a high pitched one, not only in Andy's vocals, but even the bit keyboard parts as well. So they like really match with one another, and yeah, I really like the rhyming, and even the bass is a bit more deeper and more powerful in not only this song but in other parts of this album too. And yeah, even this one, because with how blue the album is, I feel like a lot of these songs, like makes you like think of the color blue. It's a weird thing to say, but sometimes when I listen to songs, I do like imagine colors sometimes, and you're like, oh yeah, I can see that happening. And yeah, this song almost like works with like a, it's almost like, oh, how would you describe it? I guess, oh, like a nighttime kind of tune, but it's still nice and bright. Yeah, it gives me that kind of feel. Yeah, the track Always, and other parts of the album as well. So yeah, one of my favorite romantic tunes. Yeah, like a very, yeah, the chorus's lyrics are extremely endearing. But yeah, and then I'll state one more track in this album, and it's called All Through the Years, which to this day really like sends chills to my spine every time. Even since I was 13, I am more than 10 years older afterwards, and the song is still so effective. It's a really good sign when um if they can come back to a song and still feel those chills. That's like a sign of a very good song, because I used to um try and save a song as much as possible, because there was one instance where I was non-stop listening to Depeche Mode songs for over a year, and there's some that I still really like listening to, but at the same time there are others where I've overplayed at a point where I'm like, yeah, it's not working as much, unfortunately, which is like a real shame, because they used to be some of my favourite songs ever. They still are, um but yeah, I think it does like really show what the difference is between a song you like in the moment versus the song that will have its essence that can last forever every time you hear it. And yeah, all through the years is been like a good example. And once again, this is a song that has like a slightly nostalgic feel, like not nostalgic as us getting nostalgic, but just the feeling of nostalgia itself, like regardless of what it is. But yeah, regardless, it does has like subtle theming about growing up and yeah, just moving on. Yeah, all through the years, it's a bit more subtle compared to the other songs like Spiraling and When I Needed You, which had a bit more blatant lyrics at that point where you're like, oh, I can easily point out the theme. But all through the years, like I said, it's a bit more abstract. And yeah, even this is like a really good example of Andy being a good backing vocalist as well as being in the forefront as well. Yeah, because there's even these bassy repetitive parts as the song closes down. That one's like very interesting. It gives you like a very kind of feel. But I think I really just like there's like keyboard highlights, two of them before the pre-chorus come out, and yeah, some of the best keyboard melodies I've ever heard. Yeah, just oh my gosh, yeah, they could be. Oh, I would just love to know what the chords were despite being on the keyboard. Oh gosh, I can't describe it. It's just so good. But yeah, I think just moving before moving on, there is actually one more song in this album, and it's called Blues Away. And this song mostly has Andy using high vocals, and yeah, and oh my gosh, he like sustains it throughout. Even in the verses where he's already high, he even goes higher at the end at certain points. And I was just like, how did he do that? And yeah, it's like yeah, not only the most of a high pitched vocal I've ever heard in a song, but for it to be executed this well, yeah, I think that is something that you probably should be rewarded for. And the Even Blues Away is you to me someday. Yeah, but I think it's another like sadish, romantic kind of a song in some way, and yeah, if you like high vocals, yeah, definitely recommend this song. Alright, so next up is a self-titled album simply called Erasure in 1995. I don't know why they decided to go for a self-titled approach. I'm not normally the biggest fan of self-titled albums, because I think it works better when when there's like a one-off band and there is just their name on an album. So that's why I like give it a pass. But for an album in the middle of a discography to just be called the band's album, I'm just like, no. I need a name. I don't want to keep calling this one Erasure 1995. Yeah, because but even by calling it the self-titled one, it's just not. Yeah, it doesn't have that ring to it. So yeah, despite a bit of a flawed approach for the naming, there are actually some pretty good songs in here. One of them's called "Rock Me Gently," which you can imagine is there's one of those kind of songs. Um, yeah, I guess like "Slipping Through My Fingers" by ABBA, where it's a song about your relationship with your child. Yeah, it has its own spin on it. Because I'm more familiar with the acoustic version, because Erasure in the 90s, they created a acoustic album where songs like Home and even that one are they reinterpreted them as acoustic songs, and yeah, they are interpreted extremely well. And yeah, because even Andy with Rock Me Gently is yeah, he uses the more tender vocals. So yeah, it even goes to show that even his vocals can even like match with the type of theming or story the song wants to go for. So yeah, it's yeah, just another really good feat from him. Yeah, the two other songs I mentioned, another one is called "Stay With Me," which is once again one of the first heard songs I've ever heard. Yeah, I know it's my family members being into this band and buying their albums over time. Yeah, it's a very unusual choice because normally, because if I don't know, like meet every other parent regardless of whose parent it was, I would think, oh, you know, probably have all of the, I don't know, ABBA albums, all of the Elvis albums, all of the, I don't know, a large collection with the Supremes. You know, it just could be like something a bit more popular. But with Erasure, yeah, it's um, yeah, yeah, that was the kind of songs I was getting introduced to as like growing up, which is a very interesting choice. But I still like it though, because yeah, for instance, yeah, Stay With Me, like even just the melodies themselves do take me back to my childhood, which is interesting because this song is yeah, a sad tune once again, and yeah, there's even some really interesting moments as well where in the there's like a variety of instrumental segments during the after the second verse, and yeah, there's even like moments where Andy as his backing vocalist says the words "everything is ruined." Sorry, I sound a bit sinister. Sorry, um, but but the way he softly speaks it, yeah, it just really adds to the yeah, once again, like the more sad themes of the track, and yeah, even this one sounds a bit like chorus, whereas quite electronic at some moments. But this one, the whole album takes more of a modern approach, where it sounds a bit more not only familiar of like modern electronic music, but um, I forgot what the second point was, but yeah, it's just yeah, they sound yeah a bit more modern than that, and so yeah, because even another good example of this, another song called "Fingers and Thumbs," that one actually sounds like quite a modern pop song. Well, in the 2000s anyway, because I thought that's when the song was written, but or made, but yeah, because yeah, we all know a lot of famous 90s tunes, but once again, like Erasure have made these like timeless tracks at a point where will know these were like 90s songs, and you're just like, oh, cool. So yeah, they definitely like to make what they want to make, yeah, because they are still evolving their style, but it's not too trendy at a point where it doesn't betray their foundation. And yeah, they managed to stick to that throughout because once again, the memorable piano melodies, nice straightforward lyrics, using a variety of vocals. Yeah, that foundations like that continue to carry over to this day. And but yeah, let's just go over Fingers and Thumbs. Yeah, from the self-titled Erasure album. Um, yeah, it's like a romantic tune once again. It has a nice fun flavour to the song, and yeah, even the likes of the cushion moments and the main melodies do sound more electronic, but yeah, once again they formed into melodies that actually sound rather nice. Even my favourite moments of the songs are the pre-choruses where um yeah, it has like more of a whispering kind of texture with Andy's vocals, and even the synth parts like swell up a bit, and yeah, it does quite get me. But regardless, we'll then go on to what's the next one? Oh yeah, Love Boat, released in 2000, and yeah, this too has a lot of songs I remember from my childhood. First one is Freedom, and yeah, once again the guitar is back, and yeah, this one it's more at the forefront this time, and yeah, it's like a far more, not only not only is the fast drumming back, but it's more continuous throughout, and yeah, it really adds to like the groundwork of this song, despite other bits and bobs coming in, like even Andy's vocals have like a electronic kind of filter in between. But I really like the chorus as well, because not only does it swell up thanks to not only the guitar but a couple of instrumental parts too, and even additional backing vocals from Andy, and yeah, it just has like a very uplifting feel. The song does, Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's like a great highlight, and yeah, once again, it just helps set up the rest of the album. Yeah, that's what's really good about them too. If they are able to write a very good starting off tune, that's definitely another good sign of an artist. And yeah, they've gone for really like good tunes to start the rest of the album of. Yeah, the next one is Alien. This too was made as an acoustic version by the same band too. Um, but yeah, this one has like more of a eerie feel. It kind of reminds me of more of a like it reminds me of the Siren song, back in 1991 with the chorus album. Except this one is a bit more like lightly galactic, but in a like a fun-ish kind of tone, and still quite atmospheric and just very like wondrous in some way. And yeah, I think the song's a bit more thought-provoking because I think yeah the song does hint at like a couple of theme ideas. If anything, he like compares parts of life to or what could be seen as aliens. Yeah, so despite being on the more simplistic instrumental kind of side of things, yeah, yeah, I just don't really like not only the lyrics but how they're sung as well. So yeah, even I kind of see this as like the start of probably one of the next ones afterwards. Oh yes, yeah, rightfully so. Because yeah, I think yeah, Love Boat. I kind of see as like the end of like a more classic Erasure era, but now we're going on to the new era where once again it's a bit more electronic, a bit more modern. But despite that, yeah, some of these foundations are still around. Like, granted, I don't remember the last time I've heard a guitar since 2000 with the Love Boat album that I've just spoken about. But regardless, you need to create all sorts of melodies and so forth. Yeah, it's um, yeah. So yeah, let's start. Which album started off this era? And yeah, like I know I'm skipping albums in between, but like I said, I just want to stick to what I know, to really show off the highlights. If it did persuade you to listen to the other albums, then yeah, absolutely. Because I did skip the album Wild, which was the late 80s and has a couple of cool tunes like Blue Savannah, but that once again, that one I'm not so familiar of, but it's still a very good, classic Erasure album. But anyway, so let's go on to the first album of the new era, as I kind of see it. So, Nightbird in 2005, and despite to the year it was released, it was yeah, I did encounter this album a lot more later, probably about 2015. Yeah, oh my gosh, 10 years later. But despite finding it 10 years later, yeah, once again, it has like a very good pop and timeless feel. And yeah, as the album's front cover and the name implies, yeah, these songs like really suit the nighttime, strangely. Because there's some songs that are a bit more dance like, songs that really suit. I don't know if I haven't at my party. Yeah, I see a couple of them kind of working that way, but the rest of them are just like very effective and easy listeners. So yeah, once again, and I'm saying once again, not a lot, aren't I? Sorry. So yeah, first one is called yeah, No Doubt. Yeah, it's the song that starts that album, and yeah, because yeah, this album really has an experimental approach with the bass parts, both in his percussion and bass notes, and even the vocals are occasionally edited to have like a eerie, a quick kind of approach. And yeah, once you listen to No Doubt, that's where. Though, hang on, I'm thinking of the wrong one. No, sorry, I'm thinking of Don't Say You Love Me, sorry. I don't remember how No Doubt goes, but regardless, yeah, Don't Say You Love Me, yeah, it's definitely like a prime. Yeah, I kind of see that as one of the more definitive, uh, representative kind of songs in that album, but at the same time, the other ones really go do that well too, such as Breathe and Oh, Because Our Love Is Real. Oh, that one's fantastic. And, and yeah, Here I Go Possible Again, that's a quicker track, but yeah, and I'll also quickly state I Bet You're Mad at Me, which finishes off the album. Yeah, because whilst the other ones I mentioned I kind of like more so, but I Bet You're Mad at Me is, it's like it's like slightly groovy from times, and it had like crescendos, but also it has like, but then like a lot of the sound is cut off as the song finishes, and whilst using the same lyrics, the song like builds up again as it slowly ends. Like I said, cuts off a lot of the instrumental stuff, and then it just builds it back up again, and yeah, it's done in a way which yeah, it's very interesting ending of the album as well. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, to explain like further on, the yeah, because it's essentially the chorus, because it's introduced about like the middle of this part of the song, you know, those chorus lines. But yeah, those chorus lines, you know, got repeated every now and again, and once again, Andy still masters those deeper vocals as he goes. I forgot really the rest of the song, but yeah, yeah, I really like moments where, you know, it gets all bassy with the rest of the sounds cut off. Yeah, it reminds me of "Hung Up" by Madonna, because I really like, you know, when it gets all bassy and eerie. Yeah, I really love that effect. Yeah, once again, that's electronic music being done well. But yeah, so to expand on the other tunes I quite like from Nightbird. So yeah, Don't Say Lovely, and like I said, like a very good example of bass being done well. And and yeah, these songs seem to be really good at build up. Even when songs are already at a high point, it to it then like swell up at a really good time. Yeah, it's some yeah, very cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it even sounds like multiple Andy singing, and yeah, I really like the part where it yeah, at the end of the "Don't Say You Love Me" chorus, yeah, like it's all the Andy vocals going deeper, and yeah, it's so good. Um, so what's worth talking about? Yeah, Here I Go Up Hospital again. So that's the one of the faster ones, and yeah, this one, it kind of reminds me of like some of the other familiar like songs of that era, where yeah, like they do well to sustain a, you know, like an established melody, but then it's manages to, you know, still swell up successfully, and that's what you know, a good song definitely does. And um, yeah, I think your Hero Go Possible again. Yeah, just like I said, it's probably one of my favorite examples of Erasure song. You know, being able to you know, like I said, you know, the music's swelling during the chorus, and yeah, just like once it grabs you, it doesn't let go, and yeah, it's just yeah, very good. And then you know, Breathe is next, and this one was, I think, one of the more successful singles of the album, and I can see why, and it's even a good choice if whether this was this song made before the album, or was the album being made and that was like the favourite tune? I'm not sure, but either way, yeah, it does quite set up even like more the foundations of the album. Well, I know it's the fourth track on that album, but regardless, yeah, a lot of really like nice moments. Yeah, because this one has like more jingly areas and really fits with that nighttime kind of aspect, and um, yeah, and even like the back vocals as the bass comes about, yeah, it's just yeah, very effective in that regard. And then the last one I'll talk about is called Because Our Love Is Real, and this one is a bit more like limited to the instrumental kind of side, but once again, it's really effective because yeah, the bass parts really act as more like the, you know, the ground up for this particular tune, and the melody is like really gentle, but most importantly, it has these these lyrics, and this is like one of those romantic songs where it's like romantic but not mushy. But yeah, like once you like start listening to the lyrics, you can't help but like sing along with them, and yeah, they may be like simpler sounding or kind of lyrics, but I just like the passion that's used in their vocals, like just like the right amount of passion, and yeah, it's oh yeah, it's yeah, I just feel like it's done very well. Uh, so the acoustic album was next. Oh, Even Blues Away was made into acoustic version. Even Stay With Me, I don't remember those, but oh well. Yeah, I even found out that that was the least successful album, and yeah, I know acoustic albums aren't too popular, but yeah, I guess it's a shame because it does have like a good couple of highlights. Alright, so yeah, next up, this one's a proper highlight in the modern Erasure era. And yeah, I think we're probably going on to one of the last ones. Yeah, because there's a couple of really good tracks, yeah, from that one, a Christmas album, But yeah, and yeah, I think that's where I talk about it. So yeah, this is possibly going to be one of the no, the last album chat about, I suppose, and then a couple of core singles along the way. Um, but yeah, both Nightbird and Light at the End of the World, I kind of see as like the peak of modern erasure, and you'll see why. Not both with what I talk about, but if you listen to yourself, yeah, like once again, this one's extremely distinct, not only in Erasure's whole discography, but also yeah, just in general, yeah, it's a very unique pop approach, and yeah, and even just another album from my childhood. But where to start? Um, let's talk about. Um, I guess if going for the one song that's worth mentioning called "Sucker for Love" is track 3. Yeah, this one's like not only is a very handy, heavy-handed, like quicker kind of song, because even the both the backing vocals and the synth are in line to go dun 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 dun, and yeah, it's yeah, just very good with the momentum and the speed. Yeah, because yeah, quick songs like that aren't often easy to pull off, but once you hear this, yeah, it feels like you're in a high speed vehicle. So yeah, it has that kind of momentum which it never drops. So, yeah, even the beta bridge part, it sounds like it calmed down at first, but it goes dun 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 dun. So yeah, I really like how I was able to pick that up. And then yeah, because the track afterwards is called Storm in the Teacup, and this one yet again is like a slower, more melancholic track yet again. This one was a lot more melancholic. Yeah, this one has it gives you like a bit of a gas every now and again with how like gorgeous this track is. Yeah, because it does give you that feel of looking back, and yeah, it almost feels like let me have a quick look at the lyrics actually. Storm in a teacup, Erasure lyrics. Because it might be a love song, but it could be a song about loss. Oh, I think. Oh, it might be about either, but it could not be at the same time. But with some of the words implied, I think it's probably like a song about parent, but like really a relationship with your parents. But oh gosh, yeah, sounds like a very unique theme. I do need to listen to that song again. Even the title is like very suitable because yeah, I don't know what the phrase "storm in a teacup" means, but obviously just kind of imagine a bigger thing in a smaller thing. It's that kind of yeah. Even that's the kind of feel like I listen to with that song. Um, so yeah, after talking about a couple of very unique tracks, we then go on to Sunday Go, I Could Fall in Love with You, and Fly Away, which I kind of see as like the primary tracks for this album. Yeah, really showing off this unique yeah pop sound. Because even the yeah, because it's if comparing it to other like electronic pop, it's very like zinging and echoey and powerful with the melody kind of oh sorry, no, I'm losing track of what I was saying. Yeah, scrap the word melody. Yeah, it feels dubstep ish somewhere, but just a bit more like controlled, and yeah, just like knowing when to keep a lid on, but at the same time like really showing off electronic moments. I guess if going for Flyaway, oh, how do I describe that one? I'm kind of running out of what songs. I guess Fly Away is like a oh, it was like an easy going kind of track, but but I do like the it's more of a vocal focused track, especially like during the chorus, despite being rather short. And I even like the pre-chorus once again. They're very good at the pre-chorus, aren't they? Even when Andy sings those um but yeah, like he sings it as if he's like a character in pain almost. And waited still, I'm starting to cry. Like, if you forget about me. Yeah, yeah, I just really like the kind of voice he puts on because yeah, it just adds a bit more emotion to that track. So yeah, there you go. I got it eventually. But yeah, I could follow with you. So I think that was the more successful single of that album, and yeah, I can see why. Yeah, this one has I really like the starting point as well. Like it's very like gives you like a really good hook, because the tune is dun 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 dun. Yeah, it becomes like the foundation of the track, especially with the chorus. And yeah, oh yeah, once again, Andy's still pulling off the lower vocals rather well. And there are times you never lose me. And yeah, it's it's very very good. Yeah, because I think it's even pulling off some of the stronger vocals of Andy as well. Yeah, especially he. Oh, I don't know. He's probably about. How old is he actually? Let's find out. Uh, just what? How old is he? No, not. Oh, he's 61. He was born in 1964. Okay. So he'll be 63 in 2 years' time, but take that away by 20, and was he 43? 2053, 40. Oh, okay. Gosh, he must be a lot younger compared to like some of the members of Depeche Mode, maybe. I'm not sure. Wow, okay. Yeah, not a lot of artists like grow and like grow up without their vocals weakening. Because there's a lot of older artists I've heard recently where I was just thinking, oh no, you really lost the essence of your voice, but Andy just managed to maintain it throughout. If anything, in between like the what would you call it? Um, I guess like I guess we call it the golden age. Yeah, might as well, has a little respected sometimes during that era. You have and Andy, who is a lot of times very jovial, and the higher and lower. I think he was more higher pitch, a bit more youthful. But in this next era of Erasure, he uses more lower vocals, and despite sounding aged, he does sound very very unique, very like effective singer. He does sound very like a bit more, I guess, experienced in his own way. I think he just knew what to use with his vocals as he grow older, and yeah, you can really tell with both Nightbird and with this one. But anyway, so last song from Blight to the Underworld, and it's called Sunday Girl, which once again starts off the album. And yeah, this one, yeah, once it, oh yeah, I'll tell you about the intro parts, because it starts off like slightly silent at first, but then the keyboard like kicks in and goes and something along those lines. And yeah, it's yeah, this one's like a upbeat romantic kind of song. It kind of has that youthful nature of the Erasure's golden age. Yeah, I kind of see like a young Andy doing this song, but regardless, yeah, it's an older Andy who yeah, I really like it when older artists like sing songs with a useful kind of feel. And yeah, this one has like a very yeah, it has like a summery edge to this song as well. And yeah, and there's oh, what else to describe about it? Oh yeah, I really like the part where because after introducing melody, builds up and then goes quieter, and then it just kicks in with both the percussion, and then just go blinded by the da 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 da. No, lost it again. But yeah, just once again, it's like very effective with the thuds it uses. Sometimes it can sound like quite tiring in the song, but not this one. And the same could be said with the others I've talked about. And yeah, even the chorus is like extremely cool. She looks so nice with all the glitters. She made me. She did and with the city. Don't you dare do life up Sunday girl. Yeah, it just sounds like lyrics coming from my older song. So yeah, it's like yeah, yeah, just a very timeless song once again. Yeah, it's just very good. Yeah, if it's got me singing, then yeah, it's done well, isn't it? All right, so if I tell you what, let's talk about a couple of other modern Erasure songs I like, coming from the later albums, and then I'll end it with the Christmas album. So let's go on to The Violet Flame, which this song has, no, sorry, this album has one song I really like called Elevation. And oh yeah, this was 2014, so this was definitely a time I was getting into them and Depeche Mode, quite thoroughly. And Elevation was one of those songs where I'm like, oh, a new song by this band I like, and then after hearing it, it's rather good. Whilst like I said, Nightbird and A Light in the Underworld, I do see as peak modern Erasure, but Elevation has even more of a modern flavour. But it's like, oh, it's just like, I think the music video helps as well because with how high definition and very modern familiar the music video is, it like really helps with the song, or they should really separate music videos from songs. But even music video aside, it does remind me of a lot of songs from that time. So because even if it does sound a bit more 2010s compared to the other songs that have more of a timeless feel, but regardless, it's like Erasure nicely fit into the modern era. And yeah, once again, Andy manages to go for a more youthful approach, and even the keyboard parts are, like I said, just a bit more modern, a bit more, just like has like a nice summery edge to them once again. And and they also like really nice theming as well, because the chorus goes no more hiding. Da, 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 da. So it's like nicely positive tune as well. And then, but we'll pretty much go to their latest album, which is called The Neon, released in. Oh, have they released? Oh, okay. There's one more I haven't heard of yet. That's I'm wrong. Huh. I'll look into that. All right. But regardless of The Neon, so this has a song called Hey Now, and this is where you do hear that Andy has aged a bit more with the vocals, but it's still vaguely reminiscent of, like I said, Nightbird and Light at the End of the World. And even this album is like rather interesting because when you think of neon, you think of these highlighter like lights, glimmering across the landscape. And even songs like this one, and even Shot a Satellite, which I quite like too. It really matches that feeling, like in the in his city where everything's like all grown up. Even Hey Now has it's um it's like it's very like selective with the melody parts, but once again the chorus just has that really nice momentum. Walking through the city singing. What's the next again? I'm not sure. And um but just really nailing that modern kind of approach, which they fitted in really nicely. Although looking at because I'm going through a website to help me talk about a website to help me talk about each of these albums. But apparently the Neon managed to reach number 4 in the UK. Wow, that's really good. So I think there is definitely a place for them. I just wish everyone else talked about them more. I just feel like every other popular band has like left the mouth of so many people I've spoken to, but they never once mentioned them. It's a real shame. But anyway, we'll end this video with their Christmas album, and I normally have a thing against Christmas albums because every artist has to cover the classics. Well, oh, here's another Silent Night, another Santa Claus coming to town. I just can't. I'm really like tired of how many versions there are. Because I'm not against covers. Because there's some covers that I think I'm not just talking about Christmas ones. I'm talking about a lot of them in general. But let me just put this aside very quickly. But covers. So if they have like a new approach, then that's where they can either improve or be better than the original, or just as good as the original. But if they're not as good as the original, then fair enough. But I'm just surprised because apparently the most covered song is the Beatles' Yesterday, to which okay. I was just surprised that one of these Christmas songs like beating this one, because how many versions that we've heard of this Christmas song. I tell you what, can more artists sing "Oh Holy Night," which I think is the best Christmas Carol. And Christmas carols aren't really my thing. All these because because I think a lot of people nowadays prefer the classic Christmas songs, like Last Christmas and All I Want for Christmas. These ones, yeah, they tend to be the preference nowadays. But yeah, Oh Holy Night is yeah, like I said, my favourite carol. I just wished I'd discovered that sooner because yeah, it does really like make me sit and think. It's like one of those kind of tunes. Yeah, really helps me take in the atmosphere. Yeah, it's not only just a good Christmas song, but just like a very good thought-provoking song in general. Uh, Thought-provoking. I guess the sound of it is provoking. Just like really like it really like touches you in the inside. But yeah, it does. Yeah, like once again, it's just very endearing, just like the other kind of lyric style which the other Christmas carols have. So yeah, Erasure did cover a couple. Like once again, Silent Night and another White Christmas. Yeah, that's another one that's covered loads. But regardless, but yeah, we're gonna mainly stick to their original songs. Yeah, there's quite a lot of original Christmas songs. I kind of wish there was no covers in there, but yeah, regardless, yeah, this is probably one of my favorite like artist only Christmas albums. Granted, I prefer a mixture of artists. I've created my own playlist, but for Erasure to create a much stronger Christmas album with originals, then yeah, and yeah, a bit like Neon and yeah, the Neon album. It's a lot of these songs, a bit more selective, and there's not as much like song layering, because songs like Gaudete, which is a Latin word, and then oh, hang on, yeah, Gaudete. I think that's a cover too, but probably made it more popular thanks to them. Yeah, that one has like some interesting moments with the extra lyric parts and um yeah, very good high vocals in between as well. But yeah, then there's Make It Wonderful, which yeah, like I said, is on like the simpler side of the instrumental, but yeah, this one like so it works as like um a very like wow kind of tune because yeah, it has that approach where the verses are quieter, but the chorus just just goes whoosh and even a good music video as well because it's done in a stop motion fashion, but yeah, even Make It Wonderful has a lot of like a very decent theme within this song. It's like a song about no matter how bad things get, you can always turn it around yourself, or it will at least get better. So it has that kind of feel. Because sometimes when people try and create original Christmas songs, they're like, oh, let's reference the sleigh, the snows, the bells. Let's always have jingling bells in there. We've got to have them. But with songs like Make It Wonderful and even the next song I'm about to talk about, it's it still has like a Christmassy feel, but it doesn't explicitly mention Christmas stuff, and I think that's where um, that yeah, it just helps make it stand out. Feels less mushy, less stereotypical, and yeah, it's just yeah, like I said, yeah, Make It Wonderful. It's still it's a more of a simplistic track compared to the other songs, throughout their discography. But yeah, to have like a very good theme in there as well. Um, it's just executed quite well. But what I think is not only one of the best Christmas songs I've heard in recent years, but probably Erasure's best Christmas song on this album, and it's called Bells of Love. And once again, it starts off the album. Yeah, this one's like a more familiar Christmas song, and yeah, it has like a very very endearing and yeah, and yeah, I guess it does like reference Christmassy things like snow and bells, but it just really suits the kind of angle this song is going for. And despite being quite electronic, it's like very sweet with the electronic elements. Um, yeah, because even the lyrics, quite nice as well. Just it's similar to Make It Wonderful, where although whilst Make It Wonderful was a bit more of I guess like a bit more of a dancing tune, it's a bit more heavy-handed, but Bells of Love is a bit more familiar in a good way. I feel like I could recommend this song a lot. And there's even moments where the backing vocals sound like extra melodies of the song, and yeah, even there's even like more like rigid. Is that the right word? Well, let me just quick look at the definition. Definition. Hard firm, yeah. No, that is, yeah. Even some of these keyboard, there's some keyboard parts which sound like bells, or at least go along with bells, and yeah, it's just yeah, just an extremely nice, endearing tune, and yeah, definitely give it a good listen if you want a Christmas song to add to your playlist. And that takes it to the end of this commentary. So yeah, I'll say it briefly. I don't know whereabouts this commentary will be placed at. It might be one of the last ones, Definitely later on, that's for sure. Or it might be like released alongside with the other song recommending ones. But I haven't quite planned the placement yet. I've just created a lot of these videos and then check them and then release them. And but yeah, so yeah, despite the update, yeah, so this was extremely good to talk about. Yeah, yeah, to have a good chat about yeah, what I think is one of the best pop duos, and yeah, and yeah, because sometimes there are like a whole lot of popular artists or bands, and then I listen to Erasure and I think, oh, gosh, they are all so much better. Because I just feel like, to have enough of that momentum for, like for 40 years, pretty much, it's no easy feat. A lot of artists start to like founder after like less than a decade even, but to last this long because they know their limits, they know their foundation which they carried on. That each album has such a unique identity, and yeah, a lot of great highlights across these albums. And for these albums to make like a tiny part of my childhood as well, I think that does subjectively make them a bit more special to me. But regardless, yeah, they just like really stand out amongst the crowd. They have apply a bit more personality to their electronic music and his vocals. Like I said, they just really stand out extremely well. Yeah, I don't know any other singer that effortlessly can snap into higher or lower vocals as effective as he does. He should be like one of the rewarded to be one of the best vocalists. Like vocalists are tend to be like stronger singers, and yeah, he does have a good like strong vocal every now and again, but it's just how he's able to alter his voice in all sorts of different ways. It's not just the highs and lows; it's also the type of emotions. Whether it's useful or more sad or angry. He's able to manipulate his voice in a way which really suits the songs, especially the ones I've spoken about. And and dare I say, I think the also one of these bands, from the 80s have also adapted rather well to the times, because they've um, like they have, they stood out, the 80s, and they went into like more familiar pop in the 90s, and then in the 2000s and onwards they have become a bit more experimental, leaning into more like electronic and heavy sounding kind of approaches, but done in ways which like really stands out. And yeah, and yeah, because when I do think about Vince Clarke, like what if he'd stayed in Depeche Mode? What if he did continue Yazoo with Alison Moyer? What if Vince and Andy never got to work with each other? And what if like Vince was in a totally other band, and what if Andy was solo throughout? Yeah, there's like all sorts of these possibilities. And whilst I would be very interested to see what Depeche Mode would look like if Vince stayed, I think what stood out about the first album, like the quirkiness. I guess that would have continued, but Depeche Mode were very they once again, like Erasure, they knew how to make each album like stand out and change their um their approach to music quite often. And because normally I don't like it when artists drastically change their sound, but as long as they keep the foundations, then there you go. But Erasure, no, sorry, Depeche Mode, they already set up from the get-go that each time was going to be radically different. Erasure is a bit more of, oh yes, so this works for us, we'll maintain that. You know, like I said, the memorable melodies and, you know, like songs that are, you know, they sound, you know, sounding familiar. Even the electronic heavy ones in the 2000s, I could still recommend to them, being like, hey, you know, this song is kind of cool, you know, very catchy lyrics, you know, you're like Sunday Girl, it's very cool. Yeah, the one I was singing to it earlier. Um, and so, yeah. But yeah, I'm really glad with this timeline where yeah, because I don't know how Vince and Andy met, but it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever heard. Ever heard? No, that's ever happened across pop music in general. But yeah, they're definitely like a top tier band. Even when I just type in my playlist of Erasure, 43 songs that could be higher, and yeah, there's not many favorite artists of mine that goes above 30. You know, there's Erasure, Depeche Mode, and ABBA. You know, ABBA is top not up there. Shockingly enough, Linkin Park, I like a lot of their stuff, and I'll say the Beatles. Yeah, a lot of it's very listening. Then what other artists do I like more than like 20 songs of? I like Boston. I like Def Leppard. I like Lady Gaga actually. um, Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, her first three albums I absolutely adored growing up. So yeah, there's not many artists. Like even if there's like a couple of singular tracks I really like, it's artists that you sometimes have a lot of occasions where it's just one artist equals one song. But you know, like I said, there's not many cases where there's like a whole dozen, you know, done by a singular band, and you know, Erasure happens to be one of them. And yeah, and yeah, it's just what I've come to understand about music and what makes the song so good is that yeah, Erasure just seems to fit that kind of standard. Well, definitely for me anyway, because yeah, granted, you know, I'm not very good with like chords or music theory or you know like inspirations like from the past. You know, because you know Benny Anderson from ABBA, he was inspired by a whole heap of like classic artists, and because despite being more of an orchestral fan, he managed to apply it in his pop music in a very effective way. So yeah, like I said, I am lacking knowledge in that department, but even if I'm speaking like subjectively, I still can narrow down, you know, why certain songs work, you know, with the chosen melodies and you know good chord structure and using the right kind of vocals, you know how to be very memorable and making a song layered at that point where you can just keep coming back to it and never get fed up of it. There's always new to learn about it. And yeah, and bands like Erasure have done that yeah, many times. So yeah, I think I'll start right there. So yeah, I definitely just recommend them, and yeah, hopefully, you know, if this video is lucky enough, hopefully we'll get into like a stage where they're like, oh, you know, there's this song by Erasure. We've normally played these two, but how about this one? But I think I've already talked about how I think the likes of radio stations and so forth, they do need to start. I know there's certain radio stations and so forth where they do play more under the radar kind of material, being like, oh, it's done by this band. Have you ever heard of it? Because you know, even BBC Radio 2, they're trying to say, oh, you know, here's this new song. There you go. But I just feel like more radio stations and so forth should like recommend like an obscure track probably like more often. I think a safer angle is oh, you know, this artist, you know, back in the 80s released a single and we were even listening to the album and it expands on a very interesting sound from this new single, and they're like, go listen to it. So yeah, I just wish they'd do that way more because yeah, in the because um I've read a couple of articles recently that apparently the status quo of music has not changed in over a decade, because you know when you think about the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even the 2000s, each of them have like a really distinct approach and how each like stage has evolved. But unfortunately, you know, we're halfway through the 2020s and the status quo of music has been extremely similar. I'm talking about the same artists still being successful, hardly any new artists coming about. I guess a couple of new artists have started to come back, especially with Because in the Now album, there's a song by The Pretenders and even Belinda Carlisle, who managed to create a successful song out of points that's made it to a Now album, which is quite unheard of, especially during the 2010s kind of era. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot the genres and the style of music. It has been like quite similar, with the um, you know, like less used of instruments, more focus on electronics, and there's other genres that get heavily well. There's either too much emphasis on a genre that overlaps the rest of the genres, out point to other genres, don't always climb up. And I know that it's just because when you like listen to the I don't know, like the 80s or apparently the 90s had a very good mixture, and even 2000s as well. There's a lot more of a balance for different types of genres for all sorts of different types of target audiences. But nowadays it has just been, well, whatever song sounds fancy, yeah, just promote the hell out of it at a point where just like play it everywhere and yeah, just yeah, and it doesn't engage the audience or no, no, sorry, just reword it a bit. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's just modern media and all sorts that don't promote like other genres or other artists even. It's just extremely samey and yeah, and it even gets to a point where when I listen to an album, instead of seeing a variety of tunes being like, oh yeah, I do remember all of these being successful, multiple number ones, except there's like a couple of ones which I've heard, and the rest are just like, I've never really heard this, like, what are these? So yeah, I really do hope we'll get back into more of a, like take some inspiration from the past, and you you know, just keep promoting all sorts of tunes. Try help introducing other like newer artists. Try and get older artists back in the limelight. Just make sure that old and new legacies are either being created or maintained. We need that variety. And but yeah, not to mention, yeah, I think a lot of the modern music should work a lot harder as well, because I'm having to like almost like travel back in time where songs are like so effective with the note choices and the weight and the build up, and yeah, just like very nice and familiar. Um, so yeah, I just really hope we go back to like that kind of golden age, and I think now is like a really good time. Go back to instruments, maybe try and promote maybe a couple of heavy metal kind of songs. Ones that can definitely reach a wider audience, or maybe more of an acoustic one. Maybe bring back genres that hasn't been in the forefront for ages, like punk rock, maybe. Just like just really like do something that will really make music fresh again. Um, so yeah, so it's a bit of a tangent, but I've probably done before, and yeah, sorry for going into number one. But yeah, regardless, yeah, that is my recommendation for Erasure. So yeah, definitely listen to the lot. Yeah, I would say definitely start with the Innocence album. Yeah, I think that album has a really great amount of variety in there, and then I would say go on to the other albums or specific tracks I recommended, and yeah, and expand from there and see what you think of them. And yeah, I would say, because as someone who tries to listen to new artists and songs and albums like every day as like a daily goal. Yeah, I would say, keep I would recommend that, don't let the songs come to you. Uh, Go on an active quest. If you love songs as much as I do and you want to listen to as much as possible, like, please, explore other music. Don't let any songs, go under the radar. Yeah, because yeah, once you find like a really good tune, um, yeah, it's just worth sharing with the world. Just like any other like really good tune. So yeah, I think we'll start right there, shall we? And yeah, I'll see you in either the next commentary or one of the or my new animation era. So yeah, I'll see you next time.